The internet is dead. Or more to the point, the internet isn't real. Or the internet you think isn't real. Those people arguing with you, they're bots. That viral video, it's not actually so viral. That one YouTuber with 100 million subscribers, well, he's still pretty popular, but I mean, didn't that number just kind of sound phony to you? In the absolute peak of pre-internet entertainment, maybe 10 million people would go see a film. Maybe 20 million people would watch the Super Bowl or the World Cup finals. Did you really think 400 million people watched a Korean pop rap song? Maybe you think they did. Well, what's the source of those numbers? Where did we get those metrics from? The people with a vested interest in saying, look how big our platform is? Interesting how so many people distrust multinational megacorporations, but then also trust them to report accurate numbers regarding their traffic. No one is checking these claims. And I have a few experiments that may illuminate some of this reality to you. First is the Google paradox. Open a browser, any browser, whether phone, PC, any other device, smart TV, it doesn't matter. The browser could be Chrome, Opera, Brave, Edge, whatever, just a browser. Log into your account or use a VPN incognito. It makes no difference. Now, go to Google. Type a really generic search term into the bar. Search anything you want, a band, your favorite flower, a color, a food, it doesn't matter. Now look up top. Do you see the number that it says of potential returned results? Keep a mental note of that number. It claims that there are this many search results. It will always, no matter the search, be millions, billions, sometimes even trillions of search results. Now go through the search pages. Start on page 1, scroll down to get to page 3, 5, 9, 12. See how far you can go. If there's billions or trillions, you would figure the pages would go on infinitely. Just keep going for a little while. Wait, what's that? Did it end after only a few hundred results and a handful of pages? But it said there were billions of results. This can't be right. Can it? If you did that experiment, you'll know that it is right. But why? Okay, you can write that one off. They can't show all the results, right? That would be silly. yeah, sure. Okay. How about this one's a bit more involved, but post a YouTube video on a brand new channel, on a brand new email account. This video can be anything, even a black screen with no audio. It does not matter. Name it a random string of letters and numbers that make no sense. Completely random. Face roll the keyboard. The idea here is to make something unsearchable and unwatchable. Make it also public. Then, go check how many views. Sure enough, you'll have 1. Okay, it counts maybe your 1 view, right? Wait a few days. Check again. Wait a month even, and check again. Now, I'm not going to promise you ad revenue and a swag new job as a YouTuber, but interestingly, you will have views. You might have comments too. They'll be quite obviously spam links or something to that effect, but you will have them. A few dozen views, in fact. Maybe 100. Where did these views come from? Well, bots, basically. They come from web crawlers, SEO bots. YouTube itself and third-party firms create these bots that go through and search and catalog the entire internet. Seems harmless, right? But no one actually watched your video. Or if anybody did, maybe one guy stumbled onto it. And that is with you purposely making it as I said, unsearchable and unwatchable. I hear a lot of gamer channels, particularly ones of the left-leaning variety, use the term FOMO, or fear of missing out, a lot lately. And it is true, it is a common tactic used to instill a sense of urgency in people via advertising. Psychologically, we are wired as social animals. And so being in on the thing drives us to a large degree. Yes, even you, hipsters and contrarians, as taking a stance against the thing is still being part of the thing in terms of discourse. So if companies could, say, make it appear that this video or this search or this social media post or this product is the thing, it stands to the most basic of reason that they would. They have a financial or political interest to do so. And truth in advertising is required by law to some degree, but is your web traffic number or a view count technically advertising? Well, it may instill a sense of FOMO, but no, legally speaking, it's not. So who checks the authenticity of these large numbers anyhow? Is there a standard to which tech firms are held regarding their claims of metrics and traffic, similar to the Nielsen rating systems on television and radio? I certainly am not aware of any. The only people checking YouTube's metrics are, well, YouTube. This holds true across the board for big tech and even smaller tech sites. So let's, for the sake of a hypothetical, assume their traffic numbers are accurate. Well, would not a more popular video, social media post, or product with a lot more views, not also because of the principle of fear of missing out, make more money? So then is it not in the interest of these companies, even maybe a fiduciary responsibility of them, who are under no obligation to report their statistics fairly, to fudge the numbers and round up? Who's stopping them? Who could stop them? Maybe it could backfire if they got found out. Maybe shareholders would get scared and there would be a public backlash, but how do we even find out? It's not like we have access to the back end. This may seem unrelated, but a Markov chain is a mathematical system that experiences transitions from one state to another according to certain probabilistic rules. The defining characteristic of a Markov chain is that no matter how the process arrived at its present state, the possible future states are fixed. A Markov chain bot is a chatbot based on that principle. A chatbot, in other words, that at the most basic of level, these bots, they'll search through a dictionary of set words and chain together probabilistic response sequences to keywords. So you say hello, and it can be programmed to instantly and automatically reply with a greeting of its own, hi. Any middle schooler with basic programming understanding can make a Markov chain bot, likely much more complex than the greeting and response. And tech firms have made some far more advanced and nuanced, known as chatbots like the infamous Tay AI, or more recently, the Replica app that some people are using. These chatbots are made to appear cordial, friendly, and have chats with you. Often they are quite good, but Uncanny Valley does always seem to kick in. And something seems off. A strange wording or use of punctuation, use of folk sayings in the wrong context, an inability to understand your point, or even answer simple questions. It is a bot, after all. Ever read a YouTube comment section? Sure, there are some well-written, thought-out comments in there, but also some seem a bit off, don't they? A strange wording or use of punctuation, use of folk sayings in the wrong context, or an inability to understand your point, or even answer a simple question? Nah, it couldn't be. How about social media? Forums like Reddit, 4chan, or Twitter. A brand new account with one post jumps into your thread to tell you how wrong you are, but never actually addresses your point. Something about the account feels a bit off. It uses strange wording or punctuation. It uses folk sayings in the wrong context, or has an inability to understand your point or even answer simple questions. As of the time of writing this, the big news cycle is Elon Musk buying Twitter, and an odd side effect seems to be tens of thousands of accounts, mostly without avatar pics of any description and who were created within the past 2 years, are magically disappearing. Maybe you can chalk this up to people just leaving Twitter, as some are saying they're doing. After all, a lot of people do dislike Mr. Musk. But Twitter, especially, has been important in the news and politics. It has shifted elections, covered and not covered news stories in the public interest. It's pushed policy, and all done so from a very left-wing perspective. It seems to have a left-wing consensus up until now. Power, almost absolute unchecked power, can be had by the perception of consensus on these social media sites. And we are seeing almost overnight that consensus evaporating even before the ink is dry on the Musk deal. It could be they hate him and they're fleeing in protests. It could also be they're shutting down some of the bot farms so he doesn't find and expose them, or worse, turn them on for his own purposes instead of theirs, which does seem to be their expressed fear. What if, and just hear me out here, a large portion of those accounts were bots? What if the internet isn't as populated as you think, and in fact is mostly full of bots and fake accounts designed to socially engineer you into buying the right products, thinking the right thoughts, and doing the thing? Would knowing that change your internet habits? Would you want to know if it was true? Would the tech companies tell you? Would it be in their interest to do that? Would they lie about their numbers to have that kind of unchecked absolute power? Hard to say, but it's certainly worth pondering. Maybe all of this is explainable. Certainly articles you find from mainstream sources will claim that it is, and that this only feels real, but it's not. Those same sources benefit from this power structure too. Those media outlets gain their notoriety by having this supposed reach, and if it turns out that only a few thousand people actually look to them for accurate information, suddenly they don't seem any more credible than random YouTube guy with a microphone. Because if the internet is full of bots, they aren't. I'm Max Sand from Maxi Position and Right to Offend Media, and thanks for watching. If you found this thought-provoking or liked it, I humbly ask you share this video. Since I can't afford a large botting operation myself, every one of you real player characters out there in the Matrix helps. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.